Well, welcome back. The 1996 GMC Jimmy 4.3 liter. This is when I was doing an air conditioning check a couple weeks ago and noticed that when I was driving it that something wasn't right in the front end. So we're going to do upper and lower ball joints and stabilizer end links on this truck. I did one side already. This is the upper. That's getting ready for a catastrophic failure there. That's how you break a wheel off, crash. No grease, totally rusted inside. Not much left of it. The lower was a little better, but not good. Not good at all. So we're going to do them both and get this squared away so it's safe to drive. Take this caliper off, hang it up out of the way. We're going to undo the upper and lower ball joint. I'm going to leave the tie rod end connected, and I'm just going to pivot the whole knuckle and sit it on top of that jack stand and leave it there out of the way. Leverage is a wonderful thing. Always a challenge with lighting. Trying to get a light where it doesn't blind you, but it actually lets you see what I'm doing. Always a challenge. Piece of wire here, and hang this up. This top strut. Now, a screwdriver. Just want to see if I can move this inner pad in a little bit. Push the piston back in a little bit if I can. Not a lot, just enough to give it so when it goes to go back on, it's a lot easier to do, and that's all I had to do. That worked. Push it in a little bit of clearance. Pry this off here. Just hang it up out of the way. Yeah, I can be able to show you some of this. I'm going to reach in here, undo the cotter pin on the upper and lower ball joints. Cotter pin right here. Oh, I just pushed it back in. Let me try it again, as I messed the light up for you. Lighting is one of the biggest challenges. It really is. Constantly trying to figure out how to have better light. There we go, cotter pin. Now, let's go to the bottom. We'll do that one. And keep doing it. Oh, well, there's half. There's half of it. Boy, that was a good 15 minutes. Man. There's half. I should be able to hopefully get the other half out here without too much problem. Ah, look at that. Yay. We win. Alright, I'm going to bring you around to this side because I think it's a little easier to see, honestly. I'm just going to take these off of here. Cleaning up the nut on the bottom ball joint on this side as well. Alright, I'll move you over here, get you right in my way so I can't see what I'm doing. But hopefully you can. Try to give you some decent light. Alright, lower. Man, this light. Trying it. Like I said, it's a challenge. Lighting is a challenge. It really is. Lower, upper, 22 millimeter, I think. but who knows what they have. These are OEM. I believe they are, at least. I don't think they've been changed. 24, 22, 221, 220, 221, whatever it takes. That's not 24. I mean, that's not 22. 24. Nope. Maybe it is 22. Bottom is 24. 24 millimeter for the bottom ball joint. Yeah, it's just, there it goes. Okay. I'm going to put this right back on, but take them all the way off to make sure it clears the threads out. What you don't want to do is break it loose, and you haven't taken this all the way off, and then it wants to spin the joint, and it makes it harder to get it off. So before I put it back on, just for safety here when we break it apart, I want to make sure I get it all the way off first. I'm going to go turn this wheel. Well, actually, before I do that, we're going to replace these end links. I'm just going to cut them off. I'm not even going to try to take them apart. They always get locked up when it's this rusty, and you're never getting that off. Don't even bother. You have a torch. Well, if you have a torch, you're probably not watching this, and you know what to do anyway. But I use the Sawzall with a Diablo blade. You can get them at Home Depot. Not an advertisement for them, but they work really good. It's carbide tipped. I'm just going to cut it off. See how locked up? This is totally locked up. You'll never get that out of there. Don't even bother trying. Just cut it off. Well, kind of worked like an impact hammer almost. Shaking it around, knocked it loose. Good. Even better. Get that apart. Almost there. Oh. Yeah, alright. Not too bad. Well, I can try it from this side. We'll see if this will come loose pretty easy. I don't know if it will or not. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Kind of hard to get in here, but let me see if I can just get a hit what it goes through. Don't hit it, right? There it goes. Not too bad. Let's get a pickle fork and see if we can get that apart. You know, if you're keeping the ball joint, you might not want to use a pickle fork. This ball joint's being replaced, so I don't really care. It ruins the boot, it ruins the boot. Boot's already pretty bad on it, so. Alright, we're just going to drive a pickle fork in there. Separate it. Hopefully separate this pretty easily. Hopefully. I say that now. It does not want to let go, I'll tell you that. There it goes. Just pop. That was one less shot. I just should have gone one more. There is an ABS line attached to the back of the dust shield. You need to pry that apart. You need to get in there. Just be careful. There's some metal clips, and you just got to bend them. They're just wrapped around it, and I can't see because it's facing away from me. You got to be careful of the line and just bend them out. Probably get it off of there. Half a minute. Gotta fight it. I was all of, you know, eighth of a turn from being off. I finally engaged my brain. All right, there's the top one. Watch it doesn't hit me like it just hit me. Too bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Not much left of it. Now, pick this off the bottom. I'm sure I'm going to pick it up off the bottom now. Hold up on. What are you stuck on here? The shield stuck on you? Come on. There we go. Now, this is what I said, right? We're just going to move this, set it on this jack stand for the time being. Carefully. Should be able to sit it there and keep it there for now. Balance it kind of out of the way. I might tie that to something so it can't fall. I'm trying to push it out of the way some more here. Remember that cable, remember that ABS. So I'm going to sit it there, which you might not be able to see, but I just have it right on there, sitting on top of that stand. Move it back to this side now. Maybe get some better lighting. Maybe not. You see what we're doing? No, it's way too low. See the bottom though. That looks good. Alright, we're going to come up here, tilt you up a little bit. We're going to do the upper first. Now, you can grind these off if you don't have an air hammer. You can drill them, grind them off and punch them out. I'm going to use an air hammer, knock the heads off of them, and then punch them out with an air hammer. These are actually pretty easy to get out. Protect your eyes and cover your ears for this too. These are pretty loud. So just come in here. This light's not doing us any good at all, is it? Not like that, it's not. How's that? Maybe you can see that. Doesn't get much easier than that. So as I showed from the other side, right? Really bad. Alright, we're just gonna get some junk off of this. Grease. Boot's not, yeah, you can't see it, but the boot's completely torn in the back. It's totally destroyed. Big hole in the back of it. Not from the pickle fork either. It was there before. It's just in bad shape. Just clean some of this crud out. I'm going to push this out. It's going to push it down. It's better to clean it out. It's just, otherwise it's going to push all that dirt down there with it. It's going to make it harder for it to come out. It'll come out, but you just want to make it harder on yourself. Oh, dental time. rivet in there. I don't want in there. That's okay. I've got the new ball joint here for the lower. Presses in this way. You can see the lip down here. It's going to press up there. So when you do that, when I'm pressing it out, I'm going to press it down and out of the arm. I need this cup on the bottom. It has to be big enough that it can go through. So that's what you have to do. So this is a cup. Put it underneath like that with a plate. I've got a smaller plate up top, smaller hole, which will go right on top of that stud, like that. I think I have that the right way. Yes, I did. No, I don't. Yes, I do. I always got to think about it. All right, we'll get that set up. We'll get our press. I'll probably drop it 5 times, like I usually do. I've oiled it already. You can get this as a loaner, the ball joint press from most auto parts stores. So these are just enough room. I did the other side, so I know it'll work. Okay, so we'll get this lined up. Get it set up on the bottom here. Make sure I'm in the center, which I am. And then we're just going to push it down. There's no snap ring on this one. Okay, so I won't have a snap ring you have to take off. This one does not. Get my 22mm socket, and we'll do this. Once again, eye and ear protection. Protect your eyes, particularly inside here. I was pressing a bearing out, or cracking a race off a bearing, and a piece broke off when I was striking it and hit my hand and cut my hand pretty good. Not real bad, but it went right through the glove. You definitely don't want that to hit your eye, so protect your eyes. All right, let's press it out, see what happens. That one came out pretty well. Didn't give me too much grief. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just gotta pick it up. I think that's it. I think it just came out. Did it? No, it moved. It broke loose. There it goes. Good. Wish they all went that easy. That's it. Set my press to the side. We'll need that again. Everybody's out. Everybody's happy. Now you can see this boot is destroyed. That's not from the pickle fork. Right there. That was already there. It's not as bad as the upper, but it's bad. We're just going to clean up top here. Just scrub it a little bit with a brush. We're going to press this one up from the bottom. I'm going to pick this arm up with a jack because the forcing screw has to go down on this one to push it up. And it's tight to the floor. If I had a lift, it'd be a lot easier, but it's not, so I don't have a lift. So I'm just going to put a jack underneath of this, pick it up, give me some more clearance underneath. And that will make it a little easier for me to do this. My top plate's got a bigger hole so the stud can come up through it, like that, or like that, that way. Got enough clearance so they can push it up. Underneath, I'm going to use my plate that I have here. I don't want to push on the middle of it. I want to push on the outer edge. There's a, there's a shelf you can sit on. You want to sit on that shelf down in here. So there's this middle piece. It's all rusty, but you don't want to push on that. You want to push on the outside here because that's the actual joint that's been pressed in. So I'm going to sit on the outside of that. I don't have my fitting in there yet. I don't want my fitting in there yet. Do that afterwards. This has got to go down like this and then push up. And if it's anything like the other side, what will happen is I will push it, it'll get tight, and then I'll have to hit it smack it with a hammer. And it kind of shocks it loose and it keeps it moving. I'm getting everything lined up here. I know my head's in the way. but it won't be in a minute. Alright, I'm just going to start that, and then I want to make sure it gets in there straight. And I keep adjusting it on the other side. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here, yeah. Just turning the screw in now. I'm going to put some pressure on it. I'll feel it kind of load up. And then once it loads up a little bit, what I'm going to do is just going to come in here, tap it. Check it here. I just keep doing that. Should be it. If you hear that difference or not, it's not moving at all. Go all the way up. All the way in. Just make sure. Yeah, it's not moving at all. Alright. That was the harder of the two to do, actually. Pull our press off here. There you go. Just going to check it underneath one more time to make sure it's right up tight. I know you can't see it, but it is up tight. Yep, right in there. Looks real good. Alright, that's it. The important thing to remember when you're doing that is the hammer. Like when I was hammering, is this. You'll get if you just try to turn that in, you'll never do it. It'll just stop on you. Won't be able to move it. Impact helps a lot because it just kind of shocks it as it's doing it, and it kind of adjusts up. But even then, sometimes you just got to stop and kind of tap it with a hammer to get it to straighten itself out in the hole and go in and release the pressure. No big deal. I want to put my Zerk fitting in that before I forget, which I have up here. I like greasable stuff. I'm all about the greasable stuff. If you maintain it and grease it, it'll last a long time. All right, I'm tightening it up. It's just a little fitting so don't crush it. Just snug it up. Alright, set that down in there. That's interesting. And I have this problem on the other side. Ain't that something? So I just checked the part number. It is correct, but that's got to be a little different, so I had to pop it off of there. We'll put that on there, get it started, and then we're going to have to put this back on. That's really interesting. The other side, not the same setup at all on the other side. I got to get both of these back on here, which is going to be probably a pain to do, I would think. So the fact that they probably have a special tool to do it, which I don't have. Man, oh man. All right, we'll figure that out when we're there. Drop it in there. Just that simple. And find the bolts where you left them. Interesting. Bolt set's different than the other side as well. Wow. The other side had lock washers. This side has nylon nuts. Alright, just stick these in here. I already don't like this one. Gonna have to use the washer on the top here because I don't like the way that looks. Yep, I'm gonna use the washer up top. I do like nylon. the nylon locking nuts though. They're not going to come off. They're not going to come loose. Interesting. Same part number, same manufacturer, totally different bolt set in them. This side was 11, this side's 10. Wow. Very consistent here. Nothing exciting here, just tightening them up. Okay, let's snug that one up and get these other ones snugged up too. I gotta say, I like the other side, the other one on the other side better. I just do. Alright, you're gonna be that much of a pain. So we'll do it the other way. Go at it this way. Oh, I don't like that. You should get an alignment done after you do this, or at least get it checked. As the do said, these do have a little play in them for adjustment. Still play a little bit. Didn't like the way that was sitting. Get it back in the middle of the hole there. Okay. Now I'm going to fight with this boot. Get this boot back on, which I'm sure is not going to be a lot of fun. I might have a socket that's big enough to fit around it. The question is, will it be long enough to get over this stud for the ball joint? I don't know, but we'll see. Alright, so I've got my boot slid back up on there, and I've got a socket which fits over it. I'm just going to be careful and tap it up in place. I don't want to damage the boot. It's big enough that I can get on that metal edge of it and see if I can get at the seat here. Just kind of looking at it here. See what we got. What I don't want to do is cut that boot. I'm really not pleased with the change here. It's on there. It's up on there. I think we're in good shape. Got my, that was, I can't say I was real enthused about that, but not too bad. Actually went in there pretty nicely. Alright, I've let the arm, control arm back down again. I'm still going to have to move that around a little bit, usually push it up into here, but we're going to set this knuckle back in place. Unwind my wire. And we're just going to move it back and hang it back up. My bottom in first. my stud there. Now, the easiest way to do this is with a jack, floor jack under the control arm and push it up into here instead of trying to fight with it. Can you pump that up for me? I'll tell you what. Keep going. Keep going. A little more. Okay, right there. Just leave it there. Thank you. Yep. So, just going to put our nuts back up and torque everything down here. Turn that in. You can't see that. Let me move you over here so you can get at least something to see. Maybe. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, maybe. We'll just get that started. Messing with my light here. Bottom one, same thing. Get that started. And torque them down. All of them. I don't know what size these new ones are. Not a 24 that came off of it, I will say that. I've tightened my top one here. I've got it lined up with my cotter pin. I have to get a cotter pin for it. Alright, we're going to go down in here. I can set this somewhere. There we go. I got the right size cotter pin here. We'll know in a second. Yep. And we're going to just, actually I like to do it the other way. Long side down, away from the joint. So I can just peel it down. Okay. Bottom one up now. See where I want to see where my hole's facing directly in. I should have looked at that before and turned it, but I'm not going to do it now. We'll just torque this down too. Lined up. Cotter pin for that up here, I think. I do. It's facing directly in. It's probably going to be a pain to get it in there. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Going to grease these top and bottom. Put some grease in them. Then the only thing we have left is a stabilizer link. I'm not even going to show that. I cut it off. It's really to show you the upper and lower ball joints in this. Obviously, put the caliper back on and put the wheel back on. That's about it. Not very difficult. It takes a little bit of doing, but this truck's actually safe now, which it wasn't before. Well, that's it for upper and lower ball joints front of that 96 GMC Jimmy 4.3 liter. Not really hard. Easier than I thought it was going to. I haven't done that truck before, so leave yourself a couple hours. It's going to take a little bit of time, but you could see, I showed before, both sides on the upper were like that, just destroyed. It was rusted inside, no boot left on them really. Not safe. I did not show that ABS wire. Make sure you reattach that to the back side of the dust shield for the brakes. We had to undo it to move it. Make sure you reattach it and show that. But if you have this problem with your car, I hope this helps you out. If you like the video, subscribe below. Thanks for watching.